Hello, hello. I am John, just waiting for folks to jump in here to the Back to Brick live Instagram live stream here. Hello, sir. Welcome aboard, Peter. Hello, Tim. Hello, all y'all jumping in right now. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. Let's see here. Viewer request. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get to Peter here in just a moment. Just a real quick introduction for all y'all who do not know me. My name is John. I am the newest team member here of Back to Brick Corp, if you will. So the the team has grown by one, so we're two now. Garrett, all of you are expecting Garrett. He is not here right now. It is me tonight doing this interview with Peter. We're going to catch up with him real shortly. Some of you might know me as Blockhead23. I run that page over there. I'm going to be doing some of the social media consulting, creating, coordinating over here. Going to be doing some of the co-hosting with Garrett on the podcast, also some of the live streams here, as you can tell. And then we're going to be doing some other things here and there. So we're working on a bunch of stuff right now. So we'll see how it all unfolds. We'll let you all know as it works its way out. So thank you all for joining in. Please feel free to leave us questions right here down in the question box down here if you see it. If you have any questions for myself about Back to Brick, about my page, about Peter coming up here, his tag is awfully good. It's Afolly Good, AFOLLYGOOD. I'm going to join him on here in a short little bit. He is going to be talking about some of his builds that he's done in the past, some of the builds that he's going to be looking forward in the future, his past with Lego, his future with Lego, and kind of just explain his inspiration, his building techniques, and really just kind of walk us through some of his builds. So please check out some of his stuff either now or while after this is over with. So, but once again, I am John, Blockhead23. Thank you once again. It is an honor to be a part of the Back to Brick podcast. I've been listening to the podcast basically since the beginning. And I feel like once I started chatting with Garrett on the phone, it was as if I was chatting with someone who I'd already had a relationship with. So it was kind of natural. So we're really looking forward to the stuff that's going to be unfolding. I'm working on a technique series right now over on my page that we're actually going to be moving a little bit on over to this page as well. We'll be doing some of the live streams here as well. It's called Don't Sweat the Lego Technique. It's got right now 7 builders in the Lego world where they're going to cover different techniques, different styles, walk us through their techniques. It's going to walk us through, some of them are going to walk us through their Lego Masters. We have Gary from Lego Masters Germany. He's going to walk us through his process from going from just, like a builder, a mocker, what have you, to being on Lego Masters. That's going to be series 1. We have plenty of other folks in there. Brick Designed is going to be there walking through the furniture, Toying with Light, going to be talking about photography. We have a bunch. I don't want to bog you down with the details right now. Feel free to ask questions. I can get to some of them later on, or we can do it throughout here. But they have a tendency of getting caught up in the comments here, so please utilize that question. So, right, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Peter here. He is awfully good. I hope so. So here we go, Peter. Come on. Once again, thank you everyone for joining. We are getting, hey Zach, how you doing? Let's see here. There we go. We got you in here.
It's blurry. Can you see me?
I can't see you. You are a little blurry in there. Is there should we try it again? Maybe back out and we'll try it again with you?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. Everyone that's joining right now. Sorry, we have a little bit of a technical difficulty. So Peter's going to jump in and jump out back in. And there he goes. View request. Let's try it again. Boom. Let's see here. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. I am John, a.k.a. Blockhead23. What is going on with your phone? We literally just had this chat, and
Yeah.
now it's not working.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I see your. You got to turn your camera around. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We may have lost him. Sorry, folks. We're having technical difficulties here. Is everyone, hi, Thomas. Thanks for coming in here. Peter, are you there? Maybe jump back out and jump back in again. Well, can anyone see me? I don't know if am I stuck? This is great. Anyone here? Let me try to. Up there, he's gone. He left. So is this working? Anyone see me? Hello. Hi, I'm John, otherwise known as Blockhead23. We're gonna try to get Peter in here one more time. Hello, Dana. How you doing? Thanks for joining in. Hi, Zach. Okay, cool. Zach, you can see me. Right on. Cool. This thing is happening. Here we go. We're gonna go number 3. Here we go. Let's give it a try. Nope. Maybe. Up.
That is weird. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
I see your computer. There you are. I see you now.
That's strange. Hold on. Sorry about this.
Oh no, hey man. We're all working our way through it. Hello everyone who is just joining. I am working. Thank you. You can never tell from this end, man. You know. So I apologize. We're dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties. He's in Minnesota right now, and I'm in Oregon. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but shouldn't I do some Australian live streams really early in the morning? So we're waiting for Peter to get back here. He's out one more time. So anyways, welcome in. We're going to be chatting here with Peter. His tag here on Instagram is awfully good. AFOLLYGOOD. He's fantastic. He builds with bricks strictly. Here he goes. I'm going to see here. Hold on a second. Let me try a different way. Let me try to bring you in a different way. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Oh.
Can you see me?
I see you. Yeah. I can see you.
All right, I'm just going to do it backwards. It keeps shifting back. Anyway, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. I can't see you, but good enough.
You can't. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You're not missing out on anything.
Sorry about that.
But I will let you know if we get some questions. And by the way, everyone who's joining right now, please, if you're going to ask some questions for either Peter or for myself, please drop them right down there in that little question box, because they get kind of lost in the comments. And then we don't miss them. Or that way we don't miss them. We want to try to get to as many questions as possible. So anyways, thanks so much for joining, everyone. Hello, Peter, and thank you for joining us from Minnesota. It is what, 7 o'clock-ish there right now?
Yeah, 7:08. Absolutely.
Right on. Well, thank you for taking time out on your Friday evening to spend time to talk about plastic bricks with us. This is officially my first quote unquote assignment for Back to Brick. And Garrett and I were chatting, and it just so happened that Peter and I have been chatting for a while about projects that he's worked on, some stuff that maybe he's going to be working on in the future, and some stuff that we might be working on in the future. So it just became kind of natural, because we were even chatting about doing a live stream at one point. And it just like literally I was talking to Garrett, and I was like, hey, well, you know what? Here's first assignment. Let's see if this works out. And Garrett was down. So here we are. So really appreciate you being down to do this, and especially on a Friday night.
Oh, likewise. Thank you. I'm super appreciative as well. Thank you so much, John. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's really an honor. I mean, as I think you've been a listener to the podcast for a while, right?
Oh yeah, a couple months now at least, for sure. I mean, 2 or 3 months, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you've been, so the page and everything you're fairly familiar with, and of course, we're familiar with you. I've been following your work since. I mean, I don't even remember actually how I came across your page. I want
probably Mockmate, I think.
what's that now? Mockmate?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds Lewis. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. He gets. He's a crazy cat. I love that guy.
Yeah. I don't know him, but he's left me some pretty crazy, funny messages. So I enjoy it a lot. And he's a cool dude. So yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's left me a couple raps that are. So, yeah, he's
I
great.
can't see it, but that's all right. I'm just talking to a black box. It's strange, but all right. When I show you some stuff, if you don't see it, just tell me what to lift it up, etc. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, we'll totally do. Yeah, no. So, anyways, let's get into chatting. So, you are in Minnesota. Is that where you're based out of there now? Is that where you've always been based out of, or?
I lived here, I would say 3/4 of my life, but I've moved out of the state 4 times. So, yeah, but I'm back here now, and I've been back here. My last place I lived in was Austin, Texas. I moved back here 3 or 4 years ago, so I'm here now. I live in Eagan, which is a suburb of Minneapolis.
Right on, right on.
Yep.
Okay. So
Yep.
now you've been doing chefing out there in Minnesota. You've been a chef now. Is that been something that you've been doing for quite some time, or is that something that's
Well, 21 years I've been a chef. Yeah, absolutely. So
that's a
complete career of chefing, everything involved in it from everything. So yeah, I've been it's been what I've been doing. I still love doing it to a degree, and you know, pays the bills.
right on. Yeah. Well, that's another way that Peter and I kind of bonded. Well, I used to I used to be a chef, so he and I have been able to kind of share a couple war stories here and there. So now, when did Lego become a thing? Like, I mean, of course, everyone's got their childhoods, their stories. Mom and dad got rid of my Lego, or they saved my Lego. I had my dark ages, and then I got back into it. So, how you doing? Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much. When did you really kind of like get back into it and decide that you're going to start building the way that you build now?
Okay, well, I will brief you on that early time here because I think it's important, at least for this conversation. So I did it from about age 2 or 3 to 12-ish, but I did it totally obsessively. And this was in the 80s. I had Space, Technic, Town, but mostly Castle. And even then, I'd get a set, I'd make it once, and it was just mocks all the time. And I don't even know if they were called mocks back then. Certainly, I didn't have access to parts that I couldn't get through a set. And then I stopped doing it like everybody else. But I felt like there was a lot of things I wanted to do back then that I couldn't do either because I didn't have the pieces, the brain power, or just probably the patience to do it. So that was that. I did them a few times throughout, my teenage years and then maybe 20s, etc. But I started doing it during the pandemic. The second week, my parents had saved all of mine. I had literally suitcases full of them. So they saved them for me so that when I had children, they could play with them, the usual stuff. So I went down to my parents' house. Yeah. Go ahead.
Wow.
Okay, so I went to my parents' house, took them out, put together all my sets, brought them back to my house, and then I just said, I'm going to make a mock, and I made it, and I was really pleased with not so much the result, but how much fun I had doing it. And then I began to see what adults were doing, and then I looked up what was in the city, Minneapolis. There's Brick Mania here, so I watched a bunch of videos. I thought, okay, if that guy can do that, I'll do it as well. And then with a little bit of hesitancy, I ordered some parts from Bricklink, and then I basically picked up where I left off as a kid. I said, I'm going to make castle stuff, medieval stuff, houses, etc. The things I wanted to do then, and that's what I do. I'm not really into the battle scenes and all that wizardry and stuff. I'm more like the architecture. I should probably, honestly, I always tell myself I should probably be building in a different genre, but I enjoy doing this the most. So I just keep doing it.
Well, and I mean, with the scale that you build at, it would be pretty expansive to do any of those kind of those scenes. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you build at a bigger scale than minifig. Yeah, it seems.
Yeah, and I would do that, but I like to stay active at all times. And I think, like I said the other day, I usually take my mocks down because once they're done, then I feel like I can start a new one. But if they're sitting around, I don't really feel inspired to do new ones, so I take them down almost immediately after I'm done either photographing them or looking at them for a day or two. That said, I did save a couple for this. So I also don't want to just have them sitting there collecting dust. That's just me. Perhaps in the future, I'll do a large scale scene. I do intend on building some very large cathedrals. I don't know about castles so much. I think I want to, but then I don't know if I want to acquire all those great bricks and just have them sitting here. So we'll see.
Well,
Yeah.
you were saying that you had to save a couple of these builds that you have right now
Yeah.
because you're fearful of your daughter getting a hold of them.
Yeah. Well, usually when I'm about 75% of the way through one, and I'd say 2, maybe 3 a month, 2 or 3 that are good. I mean, I make a few crappy ones as well that I just pitch or whatever, but about 75% of the way through, she starts begging to basically destroy them, put little things in there, so I have to kind of hold her off until I'm done. Then I give them to her, she destroys them and leaves them on the floor. So yeah, but she's planning on ripping these apart tomorrow, which I'm glad for, so that I can start again. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, how do you, for me personally, like if someone asked if that was the Coliseum here in a second, by the way, if you do questions for Peter or myself, use that question box down there because the comments kind of get lost in here. So, but like, maybe the sets, I don't have like that much of a, intrinsic value to it, but I don't want to rip it apart only when I need pieces for something else do I tear it apart. But if I can't, if it's a mock that I made something that like seems as beautiful as yours, I would really be, I'd want to kind of, showcase it for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that we're lucky that we have social media now that we can put our stuff online and it's, permanently there essentially. So people can look at it and share it that way.
Right.
When I was a kid, you couldn't show it to anyone except my parents and my aunt and my sister. And, like, oh, cool, another castle. Of course they're supportive and they loved it. But, it's a little bit different as an adult. I think the weirdest thing coming, back into it was, okay, so I've been a chef at that point for 19 years. And, I mean, I was a chef for a long time in very busy places, everything handmade, did all the recipes for 15 years. So I got really burned out from it and I lost the interest in being creative. So I had a couple of years where I didn't really know what to do in that sense. And what I was doing was hiking all the time and I was outside constantly. And that was fun. And then I discovered, like, again, I was really happy with it. But the weirdest thing about it was, like, do I really want to do this? Is this strange? And I mean, I've always been strange, so I don't really care. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. But it was a little weird at first. But I just went with it. And I'm really glad that I did. It's super satisfying. It's a ton of fun. I love the challenge of it. And I look forward to doing a new one. As soon as I've completed one, I'm like, I can't wait to have a new idea on what I want to do. Right.
So on average then, I mean, you said like your daughter will want to crack them down right soon, like, I mean, in mid build. So on average after the build, how long do they hang around? I mean, is it long enough? Clearly it's long enough for you to get photos if it's a good one. But for other ones, I mean, how long do they hang out? I mean, do you have ones that you do have on display? I mean, I know you have a couple that we'll get to here in a little bit, but do you have one that you've hung on to?
I don't have any mocks on display. I have a plane that I got. I still remember getting it. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. I have that because I actually had all the parts and everything for it. And then I have 2 cars from 1975 era that I put together. I acquired all the pieces or had them from the early 80s, and they're just sitting there. But those aren't mocks. They're Lego sets. As far as mocks go, now I take them down. Well, I guess I have a tree mock that I pull out for. I don't like making trees at all. And I don't enjoy the process. So I have one pine tree that I change the size of and put it in my pictures occasionally. That's about it. So wait, before we get to your mocks that you're going to walk us through a little bit here. Are you collecting sets as well? Are you buying sets, or where are you getting these bricks? Walk us through that a little bit. Yeah, I don't buy any sets. I do buy most of my stuff from Bricklink. I buy parts. I live 2 miles from the Mall of America, and they have the Lego store there, and I go there frequently, but they oftentimes don't have what I want. So I will buy there, but I'm pretty much get everything just off of Bricklink. I kind of figure out what I want to do in my mind first, and then I order the parts based off of that, and I usually order another 25% of random stuff because I don't want to be limited by what I just purchased only.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. So you don't buy sets at all?
I don't. I mean, I think I bought a dinosaur. No, I got that as a gift. I haven't bought an actual set in like maybe ever in my life. I've got them all as gifts, or I just buy parts. Like I don't know. I just I like the process of creativity. Sometimes I tell myself you should buy that set because you'll learn something new, and of course you will. But then I think I don't really want all those parts, so I'm not going to buy it.
That's wild. So you,
I don't know if it's the way I do it. I approach the whole process pretty much like the way I am a chef. So I do R&D. I do the planning. There's some inspiration and then of course some artistry along the way. But a lot of it's almost like a business approach to it, which sounds probably strange, but just the way I do it.
wow, wow, that's wild. That's really strange. I mean, seriously, I don't think with the level of your craftsmanship, I can't believe that you don't. So you don't buy sets. So where do you develop your techniques?
I either look at other mock builder styles, and like I said, even though I do primarily medieval stuff, I don't really look at other medieval builds. For the most part, I look at whatever I think is aesthetically pleasing, and I look at that and study how they achieve the result, and then if there's a nice balance to it, I think I'm going to try to do this mock balanced, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I get a lot of inspiration from buildings. I live in a city with a lot of Gothic architecture, a lot of Tudor houses, which is obviously stuff that I make. So when I'm driving down the road, I stare at them, I stop over, I pull, I take pictures. Real buildings. There is one builder I actually like a lot. I like a lot of them. I'm not going to name any, but I will name one. He's not on Instagram. His name's Bob Carney. He's an older gentleman. He's been building castles for probably 4 decades. And he builds in pretty much gray only. He has a website. It's called Bob Carney Castles. I like it because his compositions are accurate to what real buildings are. So that inspires me to kind of work off of that. I think when I look at something or design something, I say, I want it to look like it's a real building, with some fun and some flair to it, of course, as well. It is a toy after all. Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like you said, you do stick to pretty like a lot of reality. I'm looking at your page here right now, and well, you've got a couple there right now. Namely, I think you've got the steeple. Is that right? You've got the steeple church. Hey, Matthias just jumped on. Hey, buddy. What's up, buddy? Speaking of killer mock makers, follow that guy. Oh, and Rick is in here too, by the way. Rick, follow that.
Hey, how are you?
Evan's pretty darn good. Okay, we got some good folks in here. So anyways, hello everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm John. This is Peter. Awfully good. You can hit the tag up here. Give him a follow. And yeah, that's back to Brick. I am John. I am not Garrett. I am the new guy. So thanks for hi Matthias. So thanks for joining on. So I was getting to hello. You have a couple mocks with you that have survived your daughter's hand of doom. Now you had one that has the steeple, the church. I think it's the Gothic Church number 10. You still have that guy?
Yeah, I saved that because I knew we were going to be talking in a few weeks. And once again, I can't see you, so if you can't see this, just tell me what to do.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, everyone who's just joining, we've had a little bit of technical difficulty. So if things go a little awry on Peter's side down there, I don't know if he's down there, up there. I don't know how it looks on that side. Bear with us, okay? we're dealing with some. Is it really cold? Let's go with it's really cold in Minnesota, right?
I don't know. My phone's a piece of crap, I think. You can see me. I can hear you. It's close enough.
Cool. Let's just take a look at the build. Let's see what you got. So this is Gothic Church number 10. And okay, if you can, yeah, that thing is beautiful. Look at that. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, that's the 10th one I've made. And the reason that I know it's 10 is I've taken pictures of all of them. I think I've only put a few online, maybe 4 or 5, because the other 5 I didn't feel were good enough to even waste anyone's time with. So this is my 10th one. I make these because I just like the architecture. I've always liked the architecture of Gothic churches. I like the detail. I enjoy it, but also I can make something that's highly detailed, meticulously done on a relatively small scale with a lot of really common parts. So, but my eventual goal is to make a very large, I'd say probably maybe 5, 10, maybe even larger times cathedral in the same style and more intricate. So essentially what I'm doing is practicing to get towards that.
Wow.
So I keep making them. Yeah, that's why I made that one. And
where do you plan on putting that?
well, we're gonna move into a new house in a couple of months, so I'll find a room for it. So I'll build it down. Okay, so this one's pretty cool. I did find somebody gave me a box of Legos, and it had one of these in there, which I didn't even know what it was at the time.
Oh yeah, I love that piece.
It's cool. So I put it in here, and I like the way it looked. And
it's such a beautiful build, man. I'm looking. So I'm here totally checking it out on my phone. I got such
well, the thing is like a lot of things, just like in my career of chefing, you have to adjust and modify throughout the process. So for example, I had enough windows to do half of it, but instead of ordering windows, because I didn't want to wait, and also I'm just like, I don't need to buy them. I just used these fences and put some old white bricks behind it. I was satisfied with the result. And yeah, that's that.
It's so great. I mean, it's such a beautiful build. It really is.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. You know, I got a cool little arch here that I made out of hinge plates. It just pops off, you know.
Those are the pieces he was just showing. Can you see the arches, guys? I'm showing from my phone. The arches right here. I guess I could probably use my other arm. I got two of them. See these guys right here? Can I see those there? No, boom, boom. Those pieces.
I usually try to do at least one new technique with a build. I don't consider myself a super innovative builder, nor do I consider myself to be like a technical wizard. So I focus on just what I like, which is a mixture of simplicity and complexity and balance. So I don't have one using common parts all the time and techniques. I'm happy with that, and I enjoy the process of that.
That's probably what makes you a better builder is your humility, because you talk about you've got such refinement and you've got a delicate touch. And, you know, people have made fun of me for saying that about Lego. People make fun of me for saying anything about Lego most of the times.
Yeah,
if they're not in this community, they think you're in a cult or something, which whatever, if it's a cult, then join, you know, I'll sign up twice on Tuesdays. But
absolutely.
Yeah, right. But it's like, I mean, I think that you don't give yourself credit enough for what you have done. Oh, wow. Hi, Chubby Bots. Thanks for joining.
I mean,
wow.
I keep referencing my career as a chef, but 21 years of chefing, I've learned a lot about humility, because when you're cooking for, you know, hundreds of people per day and everything, you're rated on every single thing you do. And the only way to really succeed at it is to have humility and to learn it. And that's a really painful and long experience. At least it was for me. So, but like I said earlier, I use the same stuff that I do at work for Lego. I approach it the same way, almost like it's a business, but it makes me really, I enjoy doing it that way. So.
Yeah, see, and that's my wife has said. She's been like, you know, if you take it too seriously, it's gonna be like that of mice and men thing where you love it so much that you squeeze it and you take the life out of it and it's no fun anymore. And yeah, I don't see that ever happening. This is Lego, man.
If I ever feel that, if there are times when I think, okay, I'm getting burned on this, then I'll just stop doing it. Like, I mean, right now. And I did it for probably 2 hours this morning on studio, and I did not do it the rest of the day, and that's fine. I took the whole week off, and I didn't say to myself, I'm going to do Lego all day. I just said I'm going to do it whenever I want, and I try to maintain that. But I do sometimes have a schedule on it for sure. If I want to get something done, I'll commit to it.
Right.
You know, I like to. As a person, I'm a really laid back person. I like to have. My wife says that I'm really serious and stern, so that probably plays a role in the stuff that I make.
As well. I was just saying, my dad was military, and I was just chef. I'm like, I have so much of that same, you know, mentality, personality. That, you know, my wife's like, you take things a little too seriously, and I'm like, you take things too seriously.
Yeah, well, you know, whatever makes you happy, I think, is what matters. I mean, not that life is all about fun, but you should certainly try to enjoy the ride. And, you know, if being stern is part of it, then go for it. If being laid back is part of it, being funny all the time is part of it, then go for it.
Right. So you mentioned earlier, going back here, did you say studio? You use studio?
I do. Yeah, I learned studio last winter. I had to go to. I didn't have to. I chose to go to Anguilla. It's in the Caribbean. I went there for 2.5 months for work, and I didn't have my Lego with me, so I went there. I worked at a luxury hotel. I was an interim chef there for a bit, but when I wasn't in the kitchen or working or whatever, I just taught myself to do studio, and I just watched some tutorials on YouTube, and then I started doing it, and I enjoy doing that a lot as well. I don't post those builds as much, but I do enjoy the process.
Right on. Well, so by the way, I am John. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're back to Brick here. We're doing a live stream here, chat with Peter, aka Awfully Good, AFOLLY Good. If you pull down the tag thing here, you'll see his name. You can give a follow. There's quite a few folks in here that you should give a follow to. We got Zach Simon in here. We've got Kelvin Lowe in here. We've got Rick. We've got Austin. We've got Matthias. Wow, we've got a murderer's row of builders out here. So thank you all for joining in.
Thank you.
An honor to have all of you join in. And this is Peter down below. I'm John up here. This is my first day on the job. So thanks, folks. This was all done kind of in the last 24 hours. So we're dealing with a little bit of technical difficulty with Peter's end, but I think we've got the video, we've got the sound. That's all that really matters here at this point. So thank you everyone for joining. So Peter was walking us through the fact that he uses Studio to do some of his builds, or you do most of your builds, all of them through that first, or?
It depends. I usually do a build first, and then I did them all when I was in Anguilla for 2.5 months. I did all of them on Studio with the intention of turning one of them into a physical mock, and then I got home and I realized it was too massive, so I haven't done it, or the parts they don't actually exist. But there's a company in Germany that produces instructions, and they produced one for me, and they're producing another, so I use Studio for that. So that's a whole different process. So it's easy to go on Studio and just make something. It doesn't have to actually be a success in the real world, but to translate a mock that's going to be something you can produce and enjoy in real life takes it takes some time, because I go to Bricklink, for example, find out if the part exists, if it's a readily available part, what the cost is, and then try to base the build off of that as well, and then make sure it's structurally sound and all that. So I've sent out some of those to the guy in Germany, and he's produced them. So yeah, I use it for that mainly now. I was working on one this morning for that.
Now, what did you do in terms of, pardon me, in terms of like, what's your background in terms of making sure that it was structurally sound when you did send it off in order to get the instructions made? I mean, was it just gut? Was it just your general knowledge? Have you studied architecture in the past? Was it just working with bricks?
Yep, I either made the mock first and then did it on Studio, or made it out in Studio and then made it with bricks. So that's why. I mean, like I said, I'm super meticulous. I'm like a, measure 5 times, cut once type of person. And you're still going to make mistakes in life, but, I enjoy that process, so I do it that way. Yeah.
Right on. Wow. So, now, pardon me. So 20 months ago, you started getting really involved back in doing mocks, not buying sets, mind you, buying pieces off of Bricklink, not buying sets, maybe gifted a set here and there. But folks, he's not sitting here geeking out with, Ecto and Seinfeld and all that. He's just bricklinking. All of his builds are bricklinked, and then they survive not a week. Because his daughter loves crushing them. So
absolutely.
So now, within those last 20 months, you've done quite a few mocks. You've been pretty prolific. Not only with the mocks, but kind of behind the scenes, you'd been asked to do something with Lego.
Yep. They asked me last year. What's the show called? Lego Masters. Yeah, I was asked twice if I could go on it. I couldn't because I was going to Anguilla. It was a 5-week time commitment, and honestly, I probably would have crashed and burned, because I don't mean that like as a fake humility. I know how to make what I'm making, but like I don't know how to make a tractor or a human. I would have totally went on though if I could have, but it was a time thing, so I couldn't do it. I mean, it's 5 weeks is a long time to go somewhere.
Sure. Now, do
Unless
you
I'm
know?
getting paid.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Because I don't think that happens.
No.
Now, do you know who you would have gone with? Do you have someone that you would have built with?
No, that's the thing as well too. I mean, I didn't even have time to really consider. I gave it a moment of thought, but I am the sole earner in our family, so it wouldn't have been financially viable anyway. So I probably went through the mental Rolodex for a minute to see if there was someone up there that could come with me, but I couldn't think of it. I actually told them I didn't know anybody that could do it. I said, chefs don't, as far as I know, chefs just go out and party every night. So I don't think they do this stuff. So no.
Chefs, I know all the chefs that I used to chef with.
When you get to be my age, 44, you kind of stop doing that,
Yeah, we're the same. Well, I'm a little bit older than you, but yeah, barely. So you've gotten yourself to a point right now where people pay attention to your builds. People are inspired by your builds. It's bedtime for Matthias. Hey man, good night, buddy. I know you're over yonder. Good night. Would have been great to watch you compete, Peter. Yeah, it would have been. Oh, by the way, if anyone has any questions for either Peter or myself, throw it down in that question box down there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Are you taking off, Siraj? Anyways, so
1 second.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. Hold, please. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I am John. I am the newest member back to Brick. Garrett is not here tonight. It is my show tonight. This is my first assignment. We're chatting with Peter over there in Minnesota. He is awfully good. If you pull down from up top here, you'll find his tag and give him a follow. He's fantastic. In fact, follow all that. Bye, Matthias. We'll see you soon. Thank you, buddy. And by the way, Matthias MB Mox, follow him. And on my page this week, we're doing featured posts of that guy. He's a phenomenal builder, both digital and physical. So follow that, gentlemen. So this is Peter, awfully good. So follow him right here. He's out there in Minnesota. We've gone over one of his builds right now. Is his Gothic Church number 10. And we're chat about another build that you have as well. But do you have something else for us?
I got one more, but hold on 1 second. I want to make sure my phone's not going to die too quick.
Okay, cool. We got technical stuff.
I'm good.
Comics high.
I've got this. Okay, so like I've said 80 times, I'm a chef, so I have to have cheap phones. Okay, my wife has got the iPhone 12. That's why I take pictures, but I'm relegated to broken phones because they fall in my pocket. So I always everything. Okay, this is the one.
That's the one right there, guys. Whoa!
Can you see it?
That is beautiful. Yeah, we can see about 2/3 of it. It is gorgeous. It is the most recent here. I'll pull it up on my end so that people can see it maybe even a little bit clearer on my end here. Hold on.
What can you see the bottom?
This is the. What's that now?
Can you see the bottom, the top, or the middle?
Middle.
All right. We'll go up.
So it's that build that he's got right there. It's a gorgeous. Oh, look at that. There we go. Wow. So like
this one's only 3-sided. The back is empty. I could have done the back. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was I just didn't feel like it basically, so I didn't do it. But I probably should have because I had the time and obviously the parts.
You got jumper plates up there?
Yeah, I've got they're dark brown, reddish brown, black 4x1 modified plates, and then the black ones as well. Black plate, black tiles.
And is that some snot that I see you got going on over there as well, or?
Oh yeah, yep. I mean, I would say I use snot bricks and tile the most. That term snot. I don't know. It gets me every time, but whatever.
Yeah.
This one was actually based off of. I was trying to make a build based off of a guy TD Bricks, and it went way out of the realm of what his was like. So I didn't credit him with the inspiration. Though I am going to build one of something based off of that. So that's
Yeah,
how this came.
give TD Bricks a follow too. It's Bricks with BRIX. TD
Yeah.
Bricks. That guy, he doesn't have very many followers, but he comes up with some brilliant builds.
And he makes a lot. Yeah, he's cool. Very nice person. This one, I got this water here. Can you see it?
Yep. That's what I was kind of trying to show up on my top portrait. I'm showing them the same photos here.
Okay, so those are some blue bricks I got as a gift from my aunt about a year ago. I finally put them to use. Then you just have some modified reddish brown bricks with the log pattern, some snap bricks, etc.
Right.
And then just some of the Tudor stuff.
Click it off like it didn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter at all.
You have a totally different approach to your Lego than I do.
Dude, I drop it sometimes, and I'm like, God damn it! But then I just say, whatever, just put it together again and just take your time. This one's super fragile. I'd say most of the time I build them very sturdy, but this one is barely. It's holding together, but the base would fall off, etc., and the roof is just sitting there. The roof is just, plates, and then the brick sits on the side and it sits there.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that on YouTube. I'm like, hey, that's a good idea. No more hinges.
Right. So we do have a question down here from Mr. Brickster, and said you may have answered this before I got here, but how long have you been building? And I'll let you answer that because I have. That's your question.
Yeah, well, it's twofold. I mean, 10 years when I was a kid, but that was 30 years ago. Started 40 years ago, finished 30 years ago, and then 20 months as an adult. The second week of the pandemic, I started. Yeah, 20 months.
So about 20 months, and then within that 20 months, if I look here at your page, I can't even really count how many you have here because, it's insane. If you look how over 20 months, how many builds this guy has gone through. It's quite prolific. And they're all. You say that your technique, you're not a technique person per se. But it is very refined, and I bet you Rick, who's also got quite the refined technique himself, would agree that you do have quite the delicate touch now with that. So with these builds here, like you said, they only last so long. He's a master builder, hands down. Boom. Yes, he is. If this is something that you're just ripping out of thin air and not necessarily using instructions guide you, that is definitely master builder type stuff. Now,
it's like I said, it's the same thing as chefing. Create a concept, do the R&D, get the ingredients, make it, and then it's gone. It's over with. But I have a hardcore work ethic, and I always have. And that came from basically I was as a child or as a teenager, I was a terrible teenager, and I basically had to figure out how to become street smart as an adult. I just was winging it all the time, and just sheer workaholism, I think, is played a role into that. I guess workaholism is not the right term. That's a really negative way of putting it. I like to work hard and get better at things.
Did you grow up around Minutemen time back up there, Husker Du and whatnot?
Oh yeah, Husker Du, absolutely. But I grew up outside of Minneapolis. So I grew up on the Mississippi River, and I grew up. I love punk rock. I love industrial. I love metal, and I still like all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I love I love Bloomington. I love St. Paul.
Yeah.
I was up in Lutzen for a while.
That's cool.
Lutzen, I love. Did some mountain biking up there. Minnesota is one of my favorite states in this country. In fact, actually, if I didn't live in Oregon right now, I'd probably live in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. It's cold. Like right now, it's 37 degrees out. Outside of that, though, it is very beautiful. It's a ton of nature. It's super chill. It's very clean. It's very pristine. A lot of lakes.
Speaking of that, now nature. Now I see in your builds there's a lot of organic dark matter to it, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a beauty to it, but there's a darkness to it. So where do you glean your inspiration from with these builds?
I don't know. I guess I think music plays a huge role in it. I love dark music. And I've always loved horror movies. Even now, I just saw I don't know what it's called. It came out a few weeks ago. Malignant, which was pretty funny and gory.
Oh,
And I like that kind of
well,
stuff.
that's the one that's from the Insidious people, right?
Yeah, the guy that did Saw. So that was awesome. So I
Oh,
love that stuff. I wouldn't say it directly influences me, but I always enjoy that stuff. And also, I really don't like making trees. I don't like making nature stuff. I don't like to say I don't like it. It sounds so negative, but it's
you were saying
don't
that earlier.
enjoy it. So I'll just say, okay, I'm going to put a few of these dots here and get away with it. Sometimes I feel though they need to have something to contrast maybe the sterility of it. So I add a tree or whatever.
Yeah.
Myself do it. I'm like, all right, just make that tree, get it over with, and I'll do it. But like I said, I've got this pine tree that I pull out every now and again, and I, break it apart. Now I've got two, and then make it. Maybe that's what I do.
The lazy man shrubbery.
It is. I sometimes think I should work with somebody else that makes the trees. I should work with somebody else that does the minifigs. Because people ask me like, why don't you have any minifigs in here? I don't know why. I've got them. I buy them and I look at them. I just chuck them in the bin.
Yeah, someone asked me like, what do you do with your minifigs? And I'm like, I'm looking around because I have a pretty large room with a bunch of stuff displayed, but I either throw them with the set that they're with, or I throw them in a pile. I end up knocking most of them over. My grandson comes in and always is putting them back up for me, and I'm like, man, sorry. He gets more offended than I do. So, so we've got a question here for you. I don't know if it's for you or for me, or for both of us. Let's go with first because you're the person of interest in my mind. What's your favorite band?
My favorite what?
Band.
Yes.
Hi, Brick Design.
Of all time, Skinny Puppy, but up until 1992.
No way.
Too Dark Park is my favorite album. I still listen to it.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. You did grow up in the same era.
I did. Yeah. I don't listen to anything after 1992 when what's his name died. Not as good. So I do listen to Skinny Puppy a lot when I make builds, especially the Gothic ones. I'll put it on, I'll blast it in my ears and and just do it. That's it.
Right. Very cool.
But I also love, I've been listening to this band Cattle Decapitation, and it's funny because I'm 44 and it's hardcore death metal. I've been listening to them a lot for about a year.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, we're definitely cut from the same cloth. I mean, when you're a chef, you definitely listen to a little bit more aggressive music. So
yeah, I like aggressive music across the board. It makes me happy. Like if somebody puts on a banjo, it makes me stressed. So I need to hear like even loud techno. I love anything loud. It gets me in a really good spirit. And I just like, hey, louder the better.
Yeah. My wife doesn't get it. I put on like Black Flag or Minor Threat or something, and it gets me so like it gets me jazzed, of course, but it puts me in such a better mood. It's like doesn't it make you angry? Doesn't it make you want no? It actually gets my brain moving. It gets my juices flowing, and it relaxes me because I feel comfort there. Because it's kind of like my little brother or big brother at the same time when I grew up with. So very cool. So you derive a lot of inspiration with your builds from music.
A lot of it from music, and then just imagery and stuff that I see, and I just remember it, and then go, I'll make that, or I'll go seek something out if I don't know what to make. Like there's a lot of ideas I have, but I don't want to go through the process of making them until I feel like it's something I really want to do. Yeah. So sometimes I'll just drive around neighborhoods and look at houses, which is kind of weird to think. I'm like, here I am, 44 years old, looking at people's houses.
Hey, man, I used to be a location scout. I used to be a location scout in the film industry, and that was very strange. People called the police on me a lot.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to happen. So that's what I do. I look at other builders' knocks, but like I said, I don't really look at medieval stuff. I don't have a specific. I look at a lot of things on Instagram, but also just online in general. The castle builds that I do like are probably 10 years old for the most part. I like the kind of the process that occurred from the classic old school stuff till now. I like a lot of the new stuff as well, but a lot of it is a little too maybe degraded looking, or I don't know, just too busy. And it's just a matter of taste.
Yeah.
And when I try to make those, they look terrible, so I just don't do it. And that's probably what it is. I just suck at them. So I'm like,
Man, there's some crazy castle builders out there, though. Like,
There's some. I mean, the people who do it well are doing it exceptionally well. Blow my mind. Like that is, and they can tell a story with and all that. I would say though, like, not that it was asked, but if I was to give one piece of advice, I would say just be yourself and go with your gut. And I think that pretty much applies to life across the board, but particularly with this, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, well, I guess I forgot to ask that question, answer that question. We got to Chubby Bots. My favorite band of all time, I guess I'd have to say, it changes daily, but I guess my top 3 go-to would have to be Fugazi, Black Flag, Minor Threat would be my 3 go-to. They're a little generic, but that just defines me. So
I was a huge Fugazi fan, huge. I mean, I still listen to them too.
That's almost like any, because I don't listen to music anymore. I listen to podcasts or I listen to live streams or whatever.
Yeah.
But I like Fugazi would be the only one I go to. Like Instrument, I could listen to because sometimes I don't want to hear the lyrics, so I just listen to the instrument. Sure. So let's see here. So what is one Lego piece that you can't do without, Chubby? We got from Kelvin.
I have to say, just a 1x1 plate. I mean, other than a snap brick, a 1x1 snap brick, it's the most useful piece for me because of the scale that I work on. Even though it's relatively big-ish, it requires a lot of little tiny parts to get the effect I'm looking for. So I like that piece a lot, and I buy them whenever I can.
Yeah.
Buy them usually, yeah.
I'd have to go with the jumper plate myself. Those in the T, man, the T bars, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what they're curved. They're like the arch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them in the Coliseum. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, there, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like I said earlier, I use mainly the old school parts, tiles, plates, bricks, slopes, a lot of snap bricks, but I also like a lot of the modified plates. I think I only got a few minutes left here, but I don't know if you can you see that again?
We got as long as you want to go.
Stuff like that. I really like all this stuff. I like it because it's useful, but I also like it because it's really cheap. No one seems to buy all this stuff, and they're like 1 cent a piece, oftentimes 3 cents a piece. So I buy them in bulk, and then I find ways to use them. And oftentimes the builds turn out also not because of what I saw in my mind, but because of the parts I have on hand. So I just keep putting them in different spots, and that looks good. Take them down. Another thing I do is I'll make them, and I won't complete the build, but I'll kind of step away from it and stare at it maybe from 10, 15, 20 feet away, and then just keep looking at it over and over and try to get the composition correct. And if a part's too short or a part's too high or it's too wide, or at least to me, in my opinion, the way I feel about it, then I'll change it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes you have to be guided by what you have on hand. I mean, like, I know there are times where, sorry, my phone looked like it was about to fall. There are times where I'm getting into a build and I'm just like, I have it totally set in my mind exactly what I want to do. And there was this raceway that I was working on, and I had it, and then I went to go grab it and everything. I was like, yeah, that's just not happening right now, man. And it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic too that I decided that I would build this mock because I was already pretty deep into Lego at that point. Oh, by the way, Chubby Bots, Kelvin, back at you. What's the question? I want to ask the question to you. What's the one Lego piece that you can't do without? Because I watch your live stream. By the way, I'm John, Blockhead 23. For those that don't know, I'm the newest member of the Back to Brick squad. Garrett has the evening off. I've taken the keys to the Ferrari, and we're taking it for a spin here with Peter. Awfully good. He's the name up here on that little pull down screen there. Follow him. He's the builder that we're chatting to here about his builds. So yeah, Chubby Bot says awesome. Thanks. I want to hear what he's gonna get going. Do you have to get going here? You got a child?
I got a few more minutes.
Hello,
my daughter Clara. She wanted to say hi. This is the one that destroys all my mocks.
She's the one. You're the one that likes to get rid of all of his beautiful builds, huh?
You like to destroy them, don't you? Can I have my water back now? Thanks for stopping by.
part about destroying them?
What's your favorite part about destroying them?
I don't know.
All right, honey. I'm gonna finish up here and I'll come tuck you in soon. Okay?
Fantastic. Well, we don't want to keep it too much longer.
No, it's good. It's good. I got a few more minutes here. I'll see you in a minute.
I know.
No, I got about 15 more minutes. I'd say.
Okay, we got a couple more questions that are coming in right now. Let's see
Yep.
here. What theme has inspired your builds the most? So you're not much of a collector. Well, you're not a collector at all.
Nope.
So what theme has has inspired your builds the most?
I definitely like architecture builds, obviously. But like I said, I like architecture that isn't necessarily castles. I don't know why I call my page a medieval page, because it is kind of medieval. I don't know what else to call it.
Well, I mean, they're pretty Gothic. I mean, they like we're talking about. Your builds do come from a darker area, and I don't mean like you don't necessarily have. I'm not sitting here saying you have a darker soul per se, but you have you have darker inspiration. It seems, and Skinny Puppy would certainly be a darker inspiration.
That's about as extreme as it can get if you haven't listened to it, or that kind of music. As far as builders go, like the people that I really like, there's a lot of them. I just look at their work. Like I said earlier, I look at their work, I look at their precision, and I try to translate their precision into what I'm thinking about or what I want to make. So if somebody makes, for example, earlier on we were talking about the figures, right? And the little characters, etc. I think that's extremely impressive. I want to do that. I want to translate that kind of precision into what I do. And then I go, like, let's say I look at a church downtown where I work. I go, okay, if I can make that church out of Lego using the precision that individual did with that, it's good to go.
Right. So yeah, you're not drawing inspiration from themes and sets. You're drawing inspirations from real life and from other builders per se.
Oh yeah, other builds. Like my one of my favorite mocks I made is, I called it Man's Best Friend because I didn't know what else to call it. It's a guy with a dog. That was based off of a mock that Mockmate made. He did one of mine and I did his. So I basically just did a riff on his, and like, to me, that's great inspiration. I enjoyed doing that. But I really steer away from trying to copy other people. Obviously, it's impossible in any creative act to not be influenced by them, sometimes overarchingly so, but I just try to maintain my own individuality and just have fun with it. But I also use the Lego parts. Like, I don't usually make my own windows, usually, or that kind of thing. So I buy the parts and just use what's available. Right on. Okay.
Yeah. And now to kind of be tangential with this, and we're going to get to Rick's question here in a second. Now, so how often are you making orders then to Bricklink, or going to get, say, a pick a brick at the Mall of America? Which, by the way, I have been to that Lego store, and it is it's got a Lego Land or whatever there. It is amazing. So I saw Blade. That's how long ago it was. I saw the original Blade in the theaters there.
Yeah, they have that store. They have all those giant Lego sculptures.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. Those things blow my mind. I mean, some of them are probably 10, 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
But as far as orders go, I would say a couple of times a month. 2 to 3 times a month at the most.
How big are these orders that you're making?
It varies, but a couple thousand parts at a time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they're not small. They're not small orders. Okay, cool. So you're
I'm a bigger go home type person.
Good.
And I really believe that if I was to limit myself by not having enough parts, it wouldn't be an enjoyable experience. So, but I recycle my parts a lot, which is why I also take them down all the time. I mean, I have a ton of parts sitting here. They're not organized well. They're just in quart containers from work and stuff like that. But they're all over now.
Which leads me to my next question. And Rick, one more. I'm sorry, I'm getting your question. Leads me to the next question is, so you must have quite a collection of pieces at this point then.
I don't think I do, but my wife tells me I have a lot. I mean, I'm looking, I'm in this chair right here in this little cubby hole, and I'm basically surrounded by them, I won't show you, it's kind of gross, but I've got a lot, but I want to have a lot. I want to be able to have them at my disposal. And I don't want to have to wait when I'm making something. I want it to be here right now. So I don't like waiting. I'm a patient person, but when it comes to what I want to do, I just want to have it. So
anyone who's purchased a Lego set and has been delayed by a couple of days knows exactly how that is. But you don't do that, so you don't understand that anxiety, which just blows my mind. So Rick has a question here.
Yep.
What style, method of building cars, mosaics, etc., would you like to improve on?
Oh, cars? Well, I don't really build any cars.
Well, what kind of, that was just like a for example, cars, mosaics,
What would
etc.
I like to get better at?
Yeah.
Well, kind of like I'm a go big or go home person. I'm also a person who's I focus on one thing until I get my goal, and I just want to get better at my medieval mocks essentially. And I enjoy doing them so much that when I step outside of it, it's not a comfort zone thing because that doesn't mean anything to me. It's about I just don't enjoy it. I'm like, okay, so I made a little alligator or whatever. I don't care about that. I want to make them look lifelike eventually, hopefully, but with a little bit of magic to them. So
Sure.
that's it. I just want to get better at it.
So, and then I guess that now leads me to my question. We've got a couple more here coming in. Leads me to my question then is what ideally do you want to do with this then? I mean, you've obviously you've made yourself a little bit of a name for yourself here in the community. You're almost at 4,000 people here following you, and they're following you for a reason because you inspire them and you make beautiful builds, and there are many people that would love to be able to do what you do. So what are you going to do with your talent?
Well, I guess I'd like to do something with it professionally, whether it be sell them in some capacity or do custom builds for others.
Like commissions?
Yeah, things like that. I think it'd be fun. I don't think I don't like to say no to. My dad used to tell me when I was a kid, never say never. And it's
Right.
good to, but I do find myself saying that, of course. I don't see myself ever wanting to try to get a job at Lego in Europe or anything like that. That said, if the opportunity was there at some point, I would certainly entertain it. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to just continue getting better, but I love working with people, and I wouldn't mind doing something with other people that could be, profitable, just
Right.
because it's fun to make money along the way as well.
Sure. So now, and you say you've got one that's going off to make instructions right now, right?
Well, there's one that's done that we did. The company's called Brick Design as well. I think I heard you say Brick Design.
They're in here. I don't know if they're still in here. Hello guys, if you're in here, they're a phenomenal page. Follow them.
Yeah, it's a different one than that. This one's from Germany, and they have a different spelling.
Okay.
So they did do one, and we've sold some. I think it's nice. I think instructions are fine. I wouldn't buy them personally because I know I'm not really selling myself here. I don't care. I personally wouldn't buy them because you have to source the parts, which can be in the hundreds of dollars to do a mock. I would rather just spend the money if I was that type of person to just buy the actual kit, a custom kit.
Right.
So there's that company in Minneapolis where I live called Brick Mania. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it. If not, they do basically army stuff and military builds.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I should probably go there, but I haven't built. But I love what they've done. Okay.
So they have a brick and mortar?
Yeah. They've got a brick and mortar. They've got a couple in the country. They're one of the people that originally started, designing their own mocks and selling them over 20 years ago.
Okay.
So they're a pretty successful brand, and I like what they do. I don't know if I'd ever go into that field, but that was also an inspiration to me to start too. I started looking at them like, okay, these guys are doing this. I can do this. These are grown adults making these badass designs with Lego parts and selling them and making a living. This is super cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you thought about doing like and by the way, Chewy, we're getting to your question here in a second. I'm not ignoring you. Have you thought about taking your builds on the circuit, like to the Bricks Cascades or the Brick Mania shows around the world, the festival markets and whatnot?
I've thought about it, but I haven't done any research onto it.
Okay.
Probably should. I've got a really busy job. Like
right.
I work as a chef in my career, and it's all over the place, and it does take precedence over Lego, unfortunately. But if I could carve out more time for it, probably soon, maybe within the next year. But I would love to do it, absolutely.
Or what about even put like submitting for say like Bricklink's what is it, their builders series?
Yep.
One of those, or doing an ideas set. I mean, these all seem like they're and anyone who's not following Peter's page, please go follow Awfully Good. I'm looking at it here. You know, it's just like, look at these builds, people. I mean, I'm not trying to like make you uncomfortable or whatever, but none of these builds exist anymore. We can't ask him to go grab it because they've all been demolished by his previously introduced daughter. Hi, Tom from Australia. There's my buddy, Tom. So, okay, follow him along. He's got some amazing stuff. I got a question I got to get to here. You can't be on for too much longer. You got to go talk to your daughter. And so Chewy E3A here has a question. It says, what Lego techniques do you use to make your structures more stable?
I use a lot of Technic bricks with the little connectors. So I'll lay a bunch of those on the top and a bunch of those on the bottom, and that's what I do. Or else I use long plates built into basically a brick.
Yeah.
That's it. Super simple.
Yeah. Chubby Bots was saying his brackets were his piece that I don't know if I mentioned that, but his piece that he can't live without, which that makes a lot of sense with his buildings. So yeah, okay, the Technic piece is obviously. Are you breaking it down right now? Oh my God.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
that's it. Plates right there holding the roof together. Nothing to it.
Huh.
So either plates or bricks. That's it. Super simple.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Like I said, I use really basic techniques and common parts. That's it. So I don't try too hard. I just wanted to make it look cool. At least cool to me.
So do you then have any personal plans then coming up ahead for you with these builds? Do you have something that do you have any builds that you've got planned out that you want to take care of coming up here, or is it just all going to be spontaneity?
It's kind of off the cuff. I've got 2 or 3 in my brain that are not fully actualized, so I don't know if I'll make them yet, but I will. Usually they kind of come to me, and then a couple months later, okay, usually I'll have the idea. I'll buy the parts will arrive, I'll say, I don't want to make that. I'm never going to make that. And then I'll start making something, and then it just, all of a sudden I made what I was thinking about 2 months ago. So I've got a couple ideas. I do want to get to this mock based off of this design that TD Bricks did, and I'm going to do it kind of a pirate style, simply because this last mock I made didn't look medieval, so I put a pirate on there. I said, okay, now it's pirate. So I'm going to do that. I think that's going to be my next mock. I've told them that already, so I should probably actually do it.
Right.
Either that or I don't know. I go look at castles. I really like the castles in Scotland, the manor houses, the tower houses, all those kind of smaller, really rugged, like scary looking castles. I like making those. I've probably got 4 or 5 of those on my page, and I've got another one that I think I'll make. They're kind of strange looking buildings. They just look like horrible places to live. So, but I do like that. So yeah.
I think that's why I like it so much. I think because, like, I don't know, there's this great curiosity about living in some of these places that you built. You know, like there's a creepiness to it. There's a wetness to it. You know, like a chill to your bone at sometimes. Like this one here, I really love this build. It's such a clean build, but it's got such a bit of a haunt to it, you know. It's such a great build, and people, I'm showing you these because they don't exist anymore. You can't see it, can you?
No, that's all right.
So the one I just showed, the one I just showed that said was really clean was the medieval cottage that you posted.
Yeah. That's the one we have instructions for. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one a lot.
Oh, that's the one that has. I just randomly picked that one. Okay.
Yeah, that one kind of. I think that's probably my favorite one, and it kind of summarizes what I'm usually shooting for. Not always. Sometimes I want to make them a little bit more cheerful looking, but like that's my state of mind a lot. Is just kind of. I don't know. I'm a superstitious person. I definitely believe in ghosts and all that stuff, so it probably influences me. Yeah, I like that build because it has that vibe.
I'm showing everyone the photos right now. It's a modular. These are all of yours modulars?
Yeah.
Well, that just makes me angry. like in a jealous kind of way.
Yeah, but I mean, like, keep in mind, some of these take a long time. Like that one that I made from Mockmate, the man's best friend, took me 6 weeks. You know, not 6 weeks of active building, but a lot of time in between, a lot
Right.
of looking at it, thinking, staring at. Like, I will spend 12 hours sometimes just with these thoughts about how to make it, and it
Sure.
where my brain is. I think anybody who's in the creative act, which everybody can be creative, obviously, but when you're really in the zone, you just sometimes it takes over.
Sure. Of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if anyone who's experienced that in any fashion, whether it's sports or building or chef, man, there are times where you've got that dance down on the line and everyone's in sequence and it's like a ballerina, you know, boom, 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 boom.
I mean, yeah. The
when you
first 10 years of me being a chef, that's all I did. All I did was cook and think about it, read cookbooks and work, you know, and that was it. And it's just, that's how you get good at things. And I think that's the most enjoyable way to pursue things.
Yeah.
Because if you have goals, the only way to get there is hard work.
Absolutely. And I mean, your hard work is clearly paying off. I mean, you've done some just absolutely superb builds, and they're beautiful. They're haunting. And I often find myself going, well, why hasn't he posted a new one yet? So
it takes me forever.
if
they're not perfect, I get mad. I don't get mad, but I won't do them. And I try to take the photography really simply, you know, and I'm not a photographer. I try to capture the essence of it with just normal photography.
Yeah.
But if the photography sucks, I'll spend a couple days taking pictures over and over and over and over until I get one I like. And then I'll post and I'll be like, damn it, I forgot to put that piece on or something like that, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, I don't nearly have as interesting of things to post as you do, but I would imagine that capturing it just right is key for you. Which, speaking of which, we're going to be doing some work together here in the future,
Yep.
Peter and I, that will be coming out on my personal page
Cool.
here in the next few days. I think what's today's Friday. In a few days, yeah, in a few days, I think next Wednesday, we're gonna have something rolling out about Peter's work. So look for that there. And then, so when do you think you got a new one rolling out? Do you have something in the works?
Let's see. When did I post this one? Yesterday. I'd say within probably 7 to 10 days. I don't have anything started yet.
Right.
Probably closer to 10 days. I got a pretty busy week at work, and I'm working on the studio mock, converting it to instructions right now, which is extremely time consuming. And for me, it is anyway. So
that's
I'm working on that. I wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning every day. So I know that you don't sleep very much. So I do that stuff in the morning. And oftentimes I get all the Legoing I need for a day done then.
Yeah, we oftentimes are chatting at very, very early hours of my time and of your time. And it's like, what are you doing awake? And it's like, oh, yeah, that's right, chef life.
I can't tell you how many times I come home and my wife's sleeping, then I get up and she's still sleeping. I mean, that happens like almost every night, but I'm just used to it now.
That was, yeah, it was both my film life that I lived for a decade and my chef life that I lived for. Yeah. I don't want to kind of tell how long I did that one for, but I don't need to age myself any more than I already look. So yeah, so we're gonna be looking forward to your next upcoming builds. We're gonna be doing some stuff on my page. It's blockhead23, block_head_23 is my personal page. We'll be doing some feature work over there with Peter's stuff, and then we'll be looking forward to your upcoming build, and then we'll also have possibly some stuff coming up in the future with Peter here as well. So we really appreciate you taking out your time on a Friday night, and I know you got to tuck in your daughter. Are there any last parting words you'd like to give to us, Peter?
Well, obviously, and first and foremost, thank you very much, and once again, congratulations to you.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you taking time. This is the first time I've ever done this. And it's the first, actually, I've only been doing social media for a year, so it's all pretty new to me. Awesome. But if I had any parting advice I would say, and this is just advice I would give pretty much across the board, is just, it's a cliche, but always be yourself, and, don't worry about what anyone else is doing, and focus on what makes you happy in life, and just do it, and go with your gut, and always work hard and practice and try.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's like, you don't know until you start connecting those bricks, and then that, like, be, whether you're talking about these plastic things in front of us, or you can use it figuratively speaking as well, connecting those bricks in life. So not
Absolutely.
to get all kind of, we were talking about niche earlier. I don't want to be too optimistic here. Um, but thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate you taking out your time there in Minnesota. It's a little bit later than it is here. So we will be chatting with you here soon, and we'll be looking out for your new build and getting the feature going for you on my personal page. So I'll talk to you soon, and I'll just sign off here in a little bit with the rest of the folks. So you can just hit that X up there, and we will talk to you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, John. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Peter. I really appreciate it, man.
Likewise. Okay. Bye.
All right. Good night. Oh, yeah, you got to flip the phone around.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, Peter. Goodbye, Peter. Say goodbye, everyone. So anyway, everyone, there you go. So everyone who is still here, thanks so much for hanging out. This was a little Back to Brick live interview here with Peter. Awfully good. He's just signing out right now. Make sure to give him a follow. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out there, Kelvin. Really, really appreciate it. And yep, thank you so much, Tom. Thanks for hanging out. And so we're going to do a little bit more of that coming up here. This is my first quote unquote assignment here with Back to Brick. We'll be doing more coming up. I'll have some stuff coming up out on my personal page as well. That is the block_head_23. I'm the newest employee here at Back to Brick. Garrett and I are going to kind of tag team here. He's my boss, so on and so forth. So we're gonna take care of some stuff together. It's really we're really looking forward to it. We've had some really great conversations. I really appreciate the feedback we've gotten. A lot of support. So thank you all for stopping by and checking out the live stream here with Peter. I'll give it a post for those folks that were unable to see what we went through. But it's some really interesting stuff. Peter is a very interesting person and has some very interesting techniques and some builds. And be sure, thank you so much, Zach. Appreciate it, man. I didn't know if you do want to jump in and chat. If you want to jump in and chat, you're more than welcome. I don't know if you're still feeling chatty. But please make sure to give him a follow. His name's Peter, awfully good, AFOLLY, good, GOOD. Give him a follow. He's great. He's almost at 4,000 followers. Let's get him over 4,000. So I will make sure to tag him in this. And I have him tagged in a post that we did earlier today. So you can check it out there. It's the model that he showed earlier tonight that he was probably just getting ready to destroy with his daughter. So once again, I am John. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. This has been a really phenomenal first go round, and I really, really look forward to doing more here with Back to Brick. So we'll talk to you soon, and I will see you either here or over there. All right, bye-bye.